So hi guys, it's been a while. I hope you all had a good Christmas. I hope you had a wonderful New Year. I certainly did. I had good fun. I worked a lot. So as you can see, this is not my usual standard to the weekly update. So I'm just going to give you periodic updates. Let me explain why. So I'm supposed to be moving house. As you can see, I'm still all packed up. I was supposed to be moving house on the 16th, 26th. Excuse me, sorry, 16th of December, I think it was, between the 16th and the 22nd. That then got delayed because we weren't sure. Basically what's happening is my landlord's selling this house. He's moving another tenant out so that I can move into one of his other properties, hopefully a better property. And so we delayed the move because we didn't think he was going to move out in time. So we delayed it to the 6th of January. He then gives me a call just before Christmas to say there's been a problem. It's all technical stuff. I don't fully understand it. The old tenant is claiming homelessness with the council. The council have told him to stay. If he moves out, they will class him as intentional homeless. They need like a court order or something. I don't understand it, but they need a court order. So my landlord's got to get some kind of court order to get him out, which could take months. It could take even longer. Who knows? So I'm kind of stuck here now. Everything has been packed up. I've taken all the craft desks down, so I can't realistically get on with much. I have a makeshift table which I can do a little bit of painting. I'm really not in a position to film anything. It's really frustrating, really is, for me, but I've got my two 3D printers on the go. They're sat on the floor printing away. What I've actually been doing in the meantime is I'm designing this drawer system. This is just one of them. It's a modular drawer system, which once I get into the new place I can set it all up properly, and there's just like loads and loads of different things. Basically the way it works is I should have prepared this a little bit beforehand, shouldn't I? So basically what you do is you have these drawer grids. My tolerances are quite funny, so they don't fit quite so well. They go in, and then once they're in, they're stuck in. Right, I've managed to get this. This is a double single, I think it's called. So you have this system. So you have the grid system, the case, and what happens is it's actually designed originally as an under table storage. So you get a piece of frame which you screw to the table. You then add in these blocks. You add in the next one underneath, and so on and so forth. So this is you build the case and then you print the drawer off, and they're really good. So I've actually gone for the case as being this kind of silky purple, blue, black. It's really hard to see with this light. And then I've gone for purple, lavender purple for the actual drawers. You guys know I love my purple. Now I've just finished printing this one off, and what I've actually done is I've done a filament change, 5 layers from the top, and then changed the filament out. And the system I'm using, I don't know if you can see it, but these are going to be topped off with just a little touch of silver. So if you can just see the little silver at the top. So, and then these all just oh, there you go, I've got 2 that are open. So these are the slim drawers, as you can see. That's one slim drawer. That's the full size. This is called a half drawer because that's the standard. This is obviously a single drawer, which I think most things will go in here, and they're actually really solid. And the way they work is you take your case, you then take your next case either above or below it, you slide it in on the rails, and then you have these little tabs on the back, and you get two different types of tab. One, let me do this the other way round. Right, so what you do is you put these little bits on the top, and then these bits go on the bottom, and then you just pop in a nut. Actually, let's do it on this one. These are really stiff. I'm still dialing in tolerances and things. No, that one's not going to go. Anyway, so this one goes on the bottom there, and then if you're going to put one on the top, you put one on there, and then as you slide the drawer in, these will meet like that, and then you just pop a screw through and they're in. You've also got screw holes at the bottom for rails. Check this out, guys. So the actual bottom has got these feet which I've printed in TPU, and last time I 3D printed, TPU was a nightmare, but I've not had a single failure with the TPU. It's just, all you got to do is slow it down. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print these off. I've printed off a few of the basic ones, and then I'm looking at my old drawer system, and I'm just kind of designing stuff to try and fit. So for example, if I can find it, I've got this drawer insert, and I'm redesigning it so that I can pop it in, and then I can just pop my glue gun in. So the glue gun will go in there, and the plug will go there. The insert will go over the top. This big one will have a bottom on it. That will slip into the top, and I can put all my glue sticks on the top. And then, God, I've just made a mess. I'm also designing these dividers. This is my first draft and it didn't work. And what the idea is, you would have seen this sort of thing many times. So you get two of these, pop them in like that, and then you have one that goes across like that, and then you can just design your own thicknesses then. Where it's gone wrong is I've made these lines exactly half, so they don't quite fit properly. So I actually forgot I need to make them maybe a millimetre or two too big, and you'll see that at the top they don't quite go, so they just need a deeper hole. And for some reason this one's not, the one that goes across the double doesn't quite fit. We've got Shadow with us now. Hello, matey. So I've got plenty to do. Obviously they'll be purple once I finish them. So yeah, that's all I can basically do. I have been getting on with the wall mounting. Sorry, bear with me a sec, guys. I've just got to get them. So I've been doing the wall mounted Army Painter holders. So these actually go onto the wall with a French cleat, and I've done them in various colours, whatever colour the top of the Army paint. Come on, mister, you can't take the full spotlight, can you? Well, you can, can't you? Because you do what you like, and I let you. There we go. So the top will always match the holder. So I've got red ones, black ones, green ones. Most of them are white for the Fanatic paints. But they're nearly all done. I've just got 2 or 3 to print. There's some failures with the quad size and the triple size drawer. These are some more rails. And then lastly, what I'm going to do, I'll actually have my cutting mat, and then I'm going to have, if you've never heard of it, it's absolutely brilliant. It's a system called Gridfinity, and you start off with a basic set of grids. I can't pick them up because I've got loads of stuff on them at the moment. I'll show you in a minute. So you have this set of generic grids, and then you create these bins. So that I'm going to pop you on the floor, mister, because I'm trying to film, but don't get my hood up. So you then have all these little grids, and then you print these bins off, and you'll see that they're all made up of units. This is a USB stick holder, and then what happens, I will now introduce the grids. So you make the grids, you can actually make them online, whatever size you want. And you'll see these are two different colours, but that is for a reason. So basically you make these various boxes and then they just go onto the grids. Now you'll see lots of holes in them. There's magnets going to go into the holes, and the bins on the bottom, they've got holes in for magnets, so they'll actually stay put. Now I printed off a variety of boxes just to sort of see how it goes. Loads of them I printed, and I just tried to get different size. Oh, that's a drawer. So this is a 5x3, so that goes on there quite nicely. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my paintbrushes off. So this is another drawer, and now you're going to see the beauty of it. These trays are actually built up in unit sizes. Each unit is 7mm, so you could have 5 units would be 35mm. You make them as tall or small as you want, and then provided they're the same number of units, they actually stack on top of each other. So I could actually use this as a storage system as well. Now the next issue that I had was my paintbrushes. I've got thin paintbrushes, I've got thick paintbrushes. I've got a nice paint rack which is almost perfect, and the problem I've got is it doesn't fit I want my paintbrushes all to be in a row. So all my Kolinsky Sable brushes are all popped in the pot in order of size, and then my ones that I use for basing, I want them all in a nice straight line. And I found this really nice paintbrush holder, but it doesn't hold the fat brushes. So I used the Gridfinity system, and I've designed my own paintbrush holders. And of course, because they'll have the magnets on, they'll all go on the grid system, like so. And then, as you might see, you might not be able to see, there are 18 holes in there, 6x3. Now for my fatter brushes, there's only 10, because I've made the holes bigger, so my big fat brushes can fit in. So I'm really liking that. So how is it all going to tie together? Oops, that wasn't a good move. That's why I need magnets. I've just knocked my paintbrushes over. Sorry guys. So right, how is it all going to tie together? Well, let me show you as soon as I recover all my paintbrushes, which are now all over the floor. Now obviously if I had the magnets in them, they would have held better, but the magnets are actually coming today. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to have my cutting mat, and on screen the cutting mat is what you're going to see. Now you'll probably notice with a lot of my videos, things are all on the table, so there's bits and bobs all over the place, and it's a little bit scruffy. So what I'm now going to do is, around the outside of the cutting mat, which you won't see on camera, I've got this Gridfinity system. It's all going to go all around the outside, and this is going to be lavender touched with a little bit of silver. So obviously what I do is, if I'm doing some painting, I'll pop my paintbrushes on there just before I start the stream, and then I'm all ready. And then when I'm finished, these can go away on top of the drawers. Now the drawers will be topped with these covers. So the very top layer, you get these covers. This came out a little bit dodgy, but still functional. Okay, so these will be the top of the drawers, and then what I've done is I'm printing off another Gridfinity grid, but this time I'm doing in the blue, black, purple, topped with lavender, and these will be placed on top of the drawers. So when I'm finished, things that can't stack up or I don't want to put them in drawers, these can live on top when I'm finished. So I'll start the stream off, I'll go, right, what do I need? I need that, place that down, need that, and everything. So that hopefully is going to make things work really, really well. What it also means is, with my current drawer system, because these interlock and the old drawer system doesn't, it means I could have my big monitor in front of me, but I can continue to build up the drawers around the side if I want to. So yeah, so at least I'm keeping busy, but I just don't know when I'm going to move, so that is the big problem. The other big news for me is work. Now, as you may or may not know, I joined a new company about 4 or 5 months ago with the intention of doing the Scotland to London runs. I was told I'd get on them straight away, but when I actually joined the company, I was told, no, you'll have to be on the waiting list. Once a vacancy comes up, you'll get it. Okay, not 100% happy, but that's not unfair, is it? So it turns out that my time has come. Now, I was told a month or two ago that I will be on the Londons at the end of January. Then later on, as a kind of reminder, I was told ASAP, and then I spoke to my boss the other day. It was just after New Year, because I stopped and said Happy New Year, and he says it'll definitely be end of January. And I actually said to him, I go, well, look, my experience of this company, if they say something's happening and say January, it's not uncommon for some kind of laws or bureaucracy or something to get in the way, and it's actually delayed a couple of months. So in my head, not making this public, if I get onto the Londons by March, I'll be all right with that. So that's really good news for me. But other than that, I mean, the part works are building up. Obviously I can't film anything, but I just thought, well, if I just disappear and then come back in, I don't know, 3 months, next month, a year, and say, oh, I'm back, you know, I think you guys, you know, you've all been good to me as viewers. I just thought you deserve me giving you an update. So the state of play is that I don't know if I'll have anything new and interesting to tell you. I'll be around as a YouTube viewer, you know, you'll see me here and there, but you won't see any new content from me until I move. Once I move, I'll be taking a week's holiday from work, and I'll be getting everything set up, and then once I'm back, I'm back. But for now, it's just, all I can really do is organise these drawer systems, and I just really like them because they interlock, and it's all open source. So for example, this rail system, it's actually, they do a double and a single, and I actually redesigned this. This is actually my own design, and when I say it's my own design, what I mean, it's a remix. So I haven't got one of the single rails. I have. Right, so this is actually the single. So what I've done is I took the double. Oh, this is a good demo of the TPU feet. So this is the bottom rail. This is the part that will sit onto the table, and there's my TPU feet. Slot that in there, and as you can see, you can buy these feet as sticky feet, and they work out at £3 for 12. But to make 12 of them yourself, okay, it's about 2 or 3 hours on the printer, but it's about 50p. It's really not a lot, and I just think it's so much more fun when you say that is 100% 3D printed, apart from the screws, obviously, rather than saying it's all 3D printed, but I did have to buy some sticky feet for it. What's the point in having something that creates things if you then go out and buy things for it? So yeah, so that's where I'm up to. I had really big plans for 2025. I've got new intros, I've got new outros, I've got my main computer's packed away, so I've got no access to any of my files, so I probably haven't even got an intro for this at all, which is really annoying. But you know, all I can say, guys, is I'm really sorry. It is beyond my control what's happening, but once I get back I will. I'm always seem to be playing catch up, don't I? I fall behind on the part works. I play catch up and then something happens and I fall behind again, and it's happened once again. Yeah, it's it is what it is. One thing I have been working on, I don't know if I'll be able to show you properly. I printed off this Phoenix from Phoenix Forge, and I've been playing with, I don't think you're going to be able to see it, so I've been playing with the speed paints from Army Painter, and I have to say they're absolutely fantastic. Now, there's a guy whose name I can't remember, Don Serato, something like that. He's been getting a lot of flack off speed paints, from people using speed paints. People claiming that speed paints isn't proper painting. Now, I bought just a couple of the speed paints and I've watched a lot of his videos, and he's done what he's calling a double slap chop, where you basically, you go over, you paint something grey, you dry brush it all in white, you apply the speed paints, and then you dry brush it again, and then you put another colour of either a different colour or the same colour speed paint over the top, so you get this little intensity. And it's kind of got me thinking, what side of the fence am I on? Is it proper painting or is it cheating? And I thought, well, if you can't paint, it's a good system, so you just get paint down. You know, you're a youngster, perhaps you just want to get your armies painted, you're more interested in playing the games rather than painting. But we all know Games Workshop rules are you have to show progress with the painting. So in which case speed paints or contrast paints are excellent for that purpose. But what about for someone who wants to paint but not so much interested in playing? They want to get a good standard of painting. Well, I think with the double slap chop it's really good, because it alters the colours. You still get a solid colour. As you see there, that does look like a solid paint. I'm sorry, let me see if I can move my lighting. This is going to be terrible, guys, but there we go. So you still get a solid paint. The only bit on there that isn't speed paint is his beak and his feet, but you do still get a solid paint. Now, what I've done with this, it's hard to see, but the feathers, what I've done is I've dry brushed it white, gone over it with a red, and then I've dry brushed it again and then gone over with an orange. And what I intend to do is give it a third dry brush and then go over it with a yellow to give it that kind of fiery look. But most importantly, whether you do a single slap chop, double, or as I've done there, a triple, I think you have a responsibility to go in and work on your highlights using your normal Fanatic paints. And then I've then come up with a question that if speed paints are cheating, surely washes are as well, aren't they? So yeah, my conclusion so far is that speed paint isn't cheating. It does a job. So long as you understand what that job is, then that's not a problem. And then if you push it beyond what that job is, surely that's you becoming an advanced painter. But once I get my computer up and running, I don't think you've missed out by me not filming this. This is just me doing something to do. I've got my bigger 3D printer and my bigger resin printer. This is actually printed in 32mm scale. I've got my Saturn SE, which is a huge bed, and I'm going to be painting some big models. So I'm actually going to be doing this in 75mm. So this will be 4 times the size, double the height, double the width, double the depth. Is that 4 times? That's more than 4 times, isn't it? 2 times 2 times 8. That's 8 times as much. But yeah, I'll be printing this off and I'll be I'll be painting it. It'll be 75mm. You won't miss out. But what it also means is that my next video that I release that's to do with speed paints isn't going to be me using the speed paints for the first time. So you will see me get it right. I haven't actually gone wrong with the speed paints. I've done an awful lot of what happens if I do this. Like, for example, I did the red, I then did the orange on top, and I did that purely as what happens if I put the orange on top. And I knew that worst case scenario, it would intensify the recesses. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good in the end. So guys, that's me signing off. It's actually Saturday at the moment. I'm on a late shift today. So I actually I start work in about 3 or 4 hours. I'm really sorry I haven't got more for you. It's just an absolute bugger about the house move. What I am going to do, and obviously the landlord doesn't know that I'm going to ask him this yet, and he might say no. He's been very good to me and he's worked with me, but one problem I've got is that I'm not comfortable in my house. I don't have a house. I went to make a coffee out of the pod machine, and my pod machine is somewhere in one of those boxes. I've got my microwave and my air fryer and my kettle, but I can't have the luxury of a pod coffee. And then I something else I wanted to do, and I'm like, I can't do a filter coffee because my filter coffee machine is in one of those boxes. And I thought, well, maybe I'll start on a model. I've got a couple of models where I've got two models. They're in there somewhere. So what I'm going to propose to him is that if I've not moved by the end of January, I'm actually going to rebuild my craft desk. Just my craft desk, just for filming, and then once this person's moved, the tenant's moved the old house, he then gives me a month's notice. I can book a week off work on holiday. I can have the craft desk dismantled in a day, and then we can just get everything moved out. So I'll say to him, look, give me a month's notice to move, and I think he'll be okay with that, but obviously I need to ask him rather than assume. So I'm hoping, if things go well, I need to get a bit of wood on this. I've got an old garden table. This is my craft desk at the moment. So I do need... So I just heard a noise. So I do need to get a bit of wood onto this table. Then I can do a mock-up with these drawers and the Gridfinity system for the new desk system. So that's it for me, guys. I don't know when the next update will be. I will give you an update when there's something to update. There's absolutely no point me doing a weekly update and each week saying nothing's happened, because I've just wasted your time then as well as mine. So take care, guys, everyone. I am still around. I am well. The new year is looking like it will be good for me. I had a good end of the year. Very, very happy. I worked... now, some people disagree that this is a good Christmas, New Year. There was rumours going around that we had to work Christmas Day or New Year's Day. Now, they're bank holidays. They're worth double pay. And I said to the boss, I said, look, according to the normal rota, I've got Christmas Day off and I've got New Year's Day working. I said, if you want, I'll work both of them, because I haven't got young kids with me, and there's people out there that have got young family and they perhaps would appreciate the day off. And I said, I'll take the New Year's Day as well, because it is my day to work, plus it'll give me extra money to move house with. And he went, right, okay then. So they gave me a London for Christmas, so I got double pay at London rate, 12.5 hours, and then I got an Inverness run for New Year's Day, which was fantastic. I haven't done... Invernesses don't come up on my rota. I'm on a late rota, and Invernesses start too early to be included on the late rota. And I always say my favourite run is the run I haven't done for a long time. I hadn't done Inverness's in ages. So I got a 9.5 hour shift at double pay. So that's what I call a good new year. Right now I'm getting through 3D print filament like nothing. I'm probably using maybe a roll of filament a day, because I've just got 2 printers on the go constantly. Sometimes I'll use 2 filaments in a day, 2 rolls in a day, but generally I'm unwrapping one roll of filament a day. I've got a big print on the go at the moment, using up some old filament. It was a little bit of a bugger that some of these paint pot holders, like the green and the black and the red, I've had to buy a whole spool just to do 3 racks. So I've got loads of filament left over on the roll, which I'm using for prototyping. But currently I'm printing a spool holder with using the black. And the way it works is you print 2 ends, or as many ends as you want, and then you stick a steel rail through, and that provides a rack to put your filaments on. And what I want to do is store all of my filaments above the 3D printers. And then I've got this, I bought a Bowden tube and some screws. I can't find it at the moment. I'm in a little bit of a make a mess at the moment. And then what I'll do is I'll run this Bowden tube through the shelf, and then I can actually load the filament up on the shelf through the Bowden tube into the 3D printer, and then bang, it's in. And then that will just take it directly from the shelf. So rather than having to bend down and get underneath the printer to do this filament change, and I don't quite trust those, you know, when you get a spool holder that attaches to the printer, well, you're adding extra weight to the top of the printer. So when it starts doing tall prints and it's doing infill and doing that, it's adding more to shake. And also, you know, a lot of these 3D print companies, like, you know, I mean, I've got Elegoo printers. Sometimes they'll do things just to cut the cost. So, you know, the spool holder might just be minimum quality. So, you know, and also I can buy 10 kilogram rolls for a lot cheaper than 10 rolls of normal filament. So I want to start using some of those. And is it going to hold the weight? So that's why I want these shelves. So yeah, things should all come together. Anyway, guys, look, I'm rabbiting on a bit. It's been over half an hour. I've basically taken half an hour to say there's nothing to update. So yeah, basically in summary, the update is that I've not moved house yet. I don't know exactly when I'll be moving house. I'm going to try and get some kind of setup going. What I'm thinking about doing is setting a little table up in the front room, using this craft room for everything that's packed, and just fill this room full of everything I own, and then we'll just have an absolute basic setup in the house. Because guys, I'm paying rent on this, and I'm not living in it. I'm just existing in it. So I want to be able to get on with things. I think the landlord will appreciate that. So guys, that's it, me signing off. I don't know when the next update is, but as soon as I hear anything, I will tell you. Okay guys, take care. Have a wonderful new year.